Hey everybody, I'm Nicole Ricci and I'm rolling out in my 2017 Ram ProMaster City to St. Augustine, the oldest city in America. Let's go check out this Spanish architecture city. I spent a total of 4 days in St. Augustine and I'm going to go through everything that I saw, basically all of the highlights of the city, starting with Castillo de San Marcos, so built by the Spanish to defend Florida and the Atlantic trade route. Castillo de San Marcos is a national monument and preserves the oldest masonry fortification in the continental United States with over 450 years of history. The city of St. Augustine was settled in 1565, and it wasn't until about 100 years later did construction start of Castillo de San Marcos in 1672, which is over 333 years ago. There were other wooden forts, 9 wooden structures. They had built this out of coquina, and coquina is a soft limestone made up of broken shells and sand cemented together by calcium carbonate, essentially creating a natural form of concrete. And it's quarried nearby in Anastasia Island, where I had visited, where the lighthouse is, and you'll see me, I go to church there and I go to a market there. But anyhow, the word Castillo means castle, and they officially made this a big fortification because those wooden structures weren't holding up and they really needed to defend the land in their city of St. Augustine. And to go back a little bit, Ponce de Leon claimed Florida for Spain in 1513. And so the city of St. Augustine was 170 years old when construction of the Castillo began. I am standing on top of Castillo de San Marcos. Look at that. Shout out to my National Park Pass who got me into the National Monument. So built by the Spanish, actually attacked by the British 2 different times. So this was more of an active fort than the few that I've been visiting in Florida so far. It was finished in 1695. Only 7 years after the Spanish finished the Castillo de San Marcos, it would see its first test of its strength, a siege by English forces from Charlestown, Carolina in 1702. Then again in 1740 there was another British siege, but St. Augustine did eventually change hands to the British, and there was a change of flags. Although it never did fall by enemy forces, it changed through a treaty that ended the French and Indian War. This is about the extent to what I have learned, but if you're interested, you can check out the National Park website. And one of the cool things I did get to see while I was there was them lighting off a cannon. There's a bunch of volunteers who dress up in the old-time European war outfits and put on a little performance and set off a cannon.
Prepárate para el ejercicio. Bendigno, Santa Barbara.
I'm coming right here.
Esto la cuchara en el cañón. Turn la cuchara.
Yours. Like this?
Yep. Fuego.
I know there's so many good treats here in St. Augustine, but I really wanted a Cinnabon. Yes, Cinnabon is iconic, but back to the tour. So I didn't officially go into the Leitner Museum, but I walked around the lobby, and the building itself is gorgeous. It's occupying the former Hotel Alcazar, a Gilded Age resort hotel commissioned by Henry Flagler. And I do need to take a minute to talk about Henry Flagler because he is also pretty iconic. He was the founder of Standard Oil, and he was also a key figure in the development of a lot of the buildings here in Florida, and a founder of the Florida East Coast Railway all the way to Key West. He is known as founding the cities of Miami and Palm Beach, And obviously, Flagler College is named after Henry Flagler, who built it originally as a hotel in 1888. And it's considered one of the finest examples of Spanish Renaissance architecture. And it once was one of the most exclusive resorts of its day. I am now in Flagler College. This actually used to be Flagler Hotel, and I'm in the bathroom. And they said it's nice, and they weren't kidding. There's a fireplace. And look at the floors. And look at the ceiling. And look at the door. And right across the street is the Casa Monica Resort and Hotel, which is still a hotel today. It was first built in 1888. And it was actually sold to Henry Flagler by a man, what's his name? His name is Franklin W. Smith. Flagler at this time already owned two hotels, the Ponce de Leon Hotel, which is now Flagler College, and Hotel Alcazar, which is now the Leitner Museum. And of course, they have a really nice marina and waterfront area in St. Augustine, and the Bridge of Lions is a main attraction connecting downtown St. Augustine with Anastasia Island, and so I walk this bridge many times. Now let's talk churches. I'm going to highlight the 5 main churches that I visited in order, starting with Trinity Parish, United Methodist Church, the Cathedral Basilica of St. Augustine, Grace United Methodist Church, and St. Photius Shrine Greek Orthodox Church. Behind me here is Trinity Parish, established in 1821. It's the oldest Protestant church. Here is the First United Methodist Church. Unlike the Presbyterian Church, I'm not sure if it's just the name of the denomination, like First United, or if this is actually the First United Methodist Church in the U.S. I'm not 100% sure, but there are actually 2 First United Methodist Church, and I think that the one that I'll show you now is Grace United Methodist Church, and I think this one is actually older. It was constructed by Henry Flagler, and it was built within 1 year span between 1886 and 1887, and it is on the National Register of Historic Places. And the Cathedral Basilica of St. Augustine is the oldest Catholic church, founded in 1565, once again developed by Henry Flagler. I never got to go in this one, but I saw it day and night. It was so beautiful. And then finally, the Greek Orthodox National Shrine with the beautiful wall frescoes. Now I'm just walking by the water, my favorite place to be. It did rain for a bit, so good thing I was actually at the Governor's Museum, which had a bunch of beautiful paintings that are also on display, or similar collections are on display in Gainesville at the Harn, the Florida State Museum, the Florida State Art Museum, which I've also visited. And it's so funny because I kind of recognized that theme in the couple who donated them, so that was cool. And of course, I had to try Pizza Time. It is ranked number 2 in all of the US pizza joints. It honestly was pretty good, but it was like $10 for one slice of pizza, so I don't know if I would do it again, but I'm glad I tried it. And then, of course, a walk around the Colonial Quarter to see the oldest house, the oldest schoolhouse, and go down George Street. Hi vlog, good morning. It is the next day and I'm still in St. Augustine. There's so much history here. I've been learning so much and the streets are beautiful. There's so much going on. The architecture is just incredible. I've been loving it. So let me catch you up because this morning I actually walked across the bridge over to Anastasia Island and went to the St. Augustine Amphitheater Farmers Market. It is a Saturday morning and I got fresh strawberries and I listened to music and I absolutely had an amazing time. However, I missed, there was a St. Patrick's Day parade this morning, which I love parades. I would have totally loved to be here for it. I was literally running with my backpack of my strawberries and my water bottle, protein shake, everything. But I missed it, unfortunately, but whatever. I did get to see some bagpipers and a lot of people dressed up in their 4th of July, not 4th of July, in their St. Patrick's Day attire. They claim that this is the first St. Patrick's Day parade, and I guess it's because it's like a week early and most people probably celebrate in a week when St. Patrick's Day actually is.
I went down. Let her go, God bless her.
Anyways, now I'm at Nombre de los Dios, or Shrine of Our Lady of La Leche, and it is so beautiful here. They have, I forget how tall this cross is, maybe like 100 feet or more. I think it's more than 100 feet, I forget. And this is a beautiful landscape. I actually just took a little communion here and thanked God for all he's been doing in my life. I have some exciting new things that I will be doing, but I'll catch you up on that when it happens. Anyways, yeah, I've been really enjoying St. Augustine and enjoying all the history here. So I didn't realize, I studied history, of course, in school, but I didn't pay attention at all. And now to be here, so of course there were Native Americans all over, what is now the U.S. And yet the first kind of place, I keep saying like, oh, the first city was established here, which it's true. The first settlement was established here, St. Augustine, of the whole United States. So of this whole land area, there were people coming, the French, the British, the Spanish, but really the first place to be settled in was right here, out of all of the land, right here in Florida. And they actually say that the first Thanksgiving was celebrated here because here on this shrine, they gave communion, they made a sacrifice, and they ate a meal together and shared it with the Native Americans. So lots of history. And then of course the fort was built. And so a few weeks ago now, I visited Dry Tortugas, which is Fort Jefferson, and that is the first U.S. masonry fort. But here is the first Spanish fort. This fort is a couple hundred years older than that, because the Spanish, of course, were in control, you know, way before the U.S. Even purchased this land. I don't know why I can't pass up a sweet. Yesterday I ate a Cinnabon and what else did I eat? Pizza. And today I had to try these little mini donuts. Now I got some ice cream. And of course I visited the Pina Peck House. This was a highlight for me, a free tour put on by the Women's Exchange. It's a historic house. It's one of the 35 remaining first Spanish period buildings built from between 1565 and 1763 in St. Augustine. It is a coquina stone house, so what we've been talking about. It was built around 1750 by order of King Ferdinand for the Spanish royal treasurer Juan Esteban de Peña. And the house remains much as it was in 1931 thanks to the Women's Exchange, who has furnished it. Currently in Old Town St. Augustine, walking down a VA street. This is the oldest street in America. The history to this town is seriously incredible. I might have to stay another day. Just made some mac and cheese right now, but because I walk by so many good things, and that's why I got the mini donuts, the ice cream, the pizza, the Cinnabon, but I made some mac and cheese tonight. I have a beautiful view, so the Castillo de San Marcos is right back there, the beautiful marina in front of me, and I even saw dolphins go by. Seriously, what a beautiful night. I just can't believe how I always find myself by the water. Good morning. It is the next day, and yes, I'm still here in St. Augustine. Flagler College is right behind me. So I'm sitting in the courtyard. I am just parked 2 blocks away, 2 blocks behind here, further away from the water, or the main waterfront, because actually we're kind of surrounded by water. And so I have free parking, and I've been here now, I think 3 nights, but I'm gonna leave today, officially gonna leave today. But I'm just gonna make some oatmeal here and a nice little picnic table, and wash my dishes. They have a nice bathroom. And then I'm going to walk around a little bit today. They also have a Planet Fitness here in St. Augustine, which I haven't used yet, but it's open 24 hours. So I'm gonna use that and then head to my next destination. Anyways, time for oatmeal. My oatmeal was the perfect consistency, if you know, you know. Then I actually got this cute little dress on and I went to church. It's a Sunday morning. Behind me is that Lions Bridge that goes over to Anastasia Island. And yesterday when I was going over to that farmer's market, I just walked the bridge and walked down and I noticed signs for this church that meets in a school building. So I went there, Livingstone Church. We talked about having faith and what it means to not just say you have faith, but to be acting on your faith. And if you have faith, you have faith. We talked about the story, I forget where it's from, but the disciples are asking Jesus to increase their faith. And he says, if you have the faith as small as a mustard seed, you can move this tree from there to here, you can move the mountains, you know. So, Lord, thank you that I have faith. Now let me boldly be walking in that faith. So it was a great service, and now I'm just walking by the water. Isn't it funny? This town is beautiful, so I've been really enjoying St. George Street, Charlotte Street, my middle name's Charlotte, that Avia Street, King Street. I'm enjoying all the streets, but I also just love walking right here along the water. I'm back, and I'm in my van leaving St. Augustine. It's about 4:30, which I'm like, oh, the sun will set in a couple hours and I don't want to wait for it. But actually, the sun is going to set in 30 minutes. It's March 12th, so it was spring forward. Today we lost an hour. And yeah, daylight savings, baby. I didn't realize that, yeah, it would affect the sunset time. But anyways, it's perfect because I want to be getting out of here when it's dark. And I enjoyed the day. And I had an awesome time in St. Augustine. I love it so much. I want to come back, and I'll just have to plan on it. Anyhow, I am going to end this vlog here. Thanks for hanging in there. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video. And I will see you in the next one. Let me make my turn, and then I'm going to give you a little bye. Bye.